duelists out of the water. I, Hellgear, am bringing you the Shark deck profile, and Battles of Legend Crystal Revenge gives us a really cool addition to the Shark family. Like, sub, and bell, and leave your thoughts of these wonderful upgrades to one of the more fun water decks out there in the game in the comments section below. But enough of that. There are cards to count. Starting with 1 Abyss Shark and 2 Crystal Sharks. I really have bad luck trying to get an extra Abyss Shark, but if I could get one when the prices come down, I will. Both of these sharks can be treated as level 3, 4, or 5 monsters if you exceed summon a number per monster. And Abyss Shark's effects will also lock you into water monsters, while Crystal Shark's effects, which I will get to in a moment, will lock you into Xyz monsters special summons for the rest of the turn. If you control at least one water monster, you can special summon the Abyss Shark from your hand. Then you can rota a fish monster besides another Abyss Shark whose level is 3, 4, or 5. Also, the first time your number monster deals battle damage to your opponent, that damage is doubled. Which is a pretty cool thing because we do run a couple of numbers in this deck. If Crystal Shark is oh wait, I read that part about Crystal Shark. Target a monster of the water attribute on the field. You can special summon the Crystal Shark from your hand, but it's banished when leaving the field. And the water monster you targeted gets their attack cut in half. As a reminder, it locks you into special summoning Xyz monsters for the rest of the turn. Not a big deal because most Shark decks run Xyz monsters. 2 copies of the new Dream Shark. This guy, for no attack, 2600 defense is nothing to sneeze at. If you control... Oh wait, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. It has 2 once per turn effects, but it can also survive being destroyed by battle once each turn. If you control no monsters or all water monsters, you can special summon Dream Shark from your hand. Also, if this card is in the graveyard and a card or effect is activated that would deal damage to you, like that one Sword Soul effect that deals 1200 after the token, special summon Dream Shark from your graveyard, buff the damage to 0. But in doing so, it's banished when leaving the field and it loses 1000 defense. The fact that this is an extender like Abyss Shark, and it's also a level 5 extender, means if you're playing Tenyi Spirit Shathana, this is the proper replacement for it. 2 copies of Lantern Shark. Lantern Shark and the next shark that I have are just like the previous 2 sharks I've mentioned. They can be altered to levels 3 or 4 and can exceed summoned as much. On summon, you can special summon a level 3 to 5 water monster from your hand in defense position, besides another Lantern Shark. Alright, but this locks you into special summoning Xyz monsters from the extra deck. Locking you from the extra deck is also what your Buzzsaw Shark does, which I play 3 of. And on its summon, it can Stratos a different water monster from your hand. Oh, Stratos a fish in defense position from your deck, but it can't activate its effects. So keep this in mind when you do that. Being locked into water is not a big deal. Being locked into Xyz monsters isn't too big of a deal. 2 copies of... Ooh, that one almost got away from me. 2 copies of Xyz Remora. You can detach 2 materials from an Xyz monster you control to special summon this guy. Alright, from your hand. Which is a nice little clause here. Here. You can target a level 4 fish monster in your graveyard. Special summon. Ooh. Oh, excuse me. 2 level 4 fish monsters from your graveyard. Special summon those targets in face-up defense. But their effects are negated and cannot attack, change battle positions, or be used as materials except for the Xyz summon of water monsters. I also like to play an Xyz Sleedolphin. This is another monster that can get you out of TC Boo because because it's a sea serpent and instead of being a fish. If a monster is special summoned from your hand, except during battle, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if it's in the graveyard, it can attach itself to one of your Xyz monsters, which is also a really cool way to reuse it over and over and over again, which is what matters. I run a right-hand shark and no longer a left-hand shark. And I no longer run a left-hand shark. On normal summon, you add the left-hand shark, but you're not playing left-hand shark in this deck. Any Xyz monster that has this as a material cannot be destroyed by battle. AKA, if you play Crooked Cook, you have a wall. 2 copies of Beautiful Princess. I have to get some more of these from Magnificent Mavens because of the rarity buff. On summon, it banishes itself to Stratos out another fish. Your deck once per turn. I run 1 Silent Sea Nettles. This is just another extender at level 4. I used to run multiple copies of these, but Dream Sharks are much better. My personal little spice in this deck are 2 copies of Fishborg Archer. And yes, you can play Fishborg Archer. It is Blaster that is banned. If in your graveyard and you control no monsters, during either of your main phases, discard a water monster to special summon this card from the graveyard, but destroy all other monsters on the field if they are not water, which is no big deal. And that happens during the battle phase. That effect is once per turn. The only non-water monster in this deck is my out to Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds, the Fly Fang. Yes, it's a shark, it's wind attribute, and it has 1600 attack. It deals piercing damage, and at the end of the battle phase, after inflicting battle damage, it's banished until the next standby phase. So, again, it's my out to Flunderies. And we won't talk about the Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds getting banned in Master Duel. Silent Angler is the last extender of monsters, but when you special summon it, it should be the last monster you special summon because it locks you out of special summoning from your hand. And the Lifeless Leaf Fish is essentially an Armageddon Knight for fish monsters. You can banish Lifeless Leaf Fish from your graveyard as well, then target 3 fish monsters in your graveyard, shuffle them into your deck, and draw a card. Each effect of Lifeless Leaf Fish is once per turn. Spell game, you guys, we have the Reviver in White Mirror. Some people just don't know when to stop calling me while I'm rolling my tape. This is our fish monster reborn, folks. For our level 4 lowers, which is mostly everything in the deck. Then you can add a monster from your deck with the same name. It's an oat, so keep that in mind. You know how this works. You know how Call by the Grave works. I run 2 Moray of Greed for draw power. If you have Moray of Avarice, you can use that too. But instead of shuffling 2 cards in your hand to draw 3, Moray of Avarice banishes a fish you control to draw 2 cards. And of course, it is an oat. Duster for back row hate. And my fusion engine. I do run fusions in this card. In this extra deck of my sharks. Let me just sit my big red here. So you pay 1,000 or 2,000 life respectively to fusion summon. More about that when we get into the extra deck. 2 Fury of Kairyushin to work with the 2 Torrential Tribute. Again, Flyfang is the only non-water monster in this deck profile, so losing it off a Torrential Tribute is no skin off your back. And since you can banish Fury of Kairyushin to protect your board from getting wiped by Torrential Tribute, it's no skin off of your back either. 2 goes in match because floodgates are, floodgates that aren't anti-spell fragrance work really good. And another one of my sweet little texts, 2 copies of Oh Fish! This essentially is an Omni-Negate by shuffling a banished fish monster back into your deck. Remember, Beautiful Princess banishes herself, Dream Shark banishes itself, and Flyfang also banishes itself. So you have plenty of targets that are banished to put back into your arsenal and Omni-Negate your opponent. Extra deck game. I run 1 Link monster because D-Barrier is a chump, and that is Abyss Keeper. I do like this Link too. This should be one of the only Link monsters you run in a shark deck. It can't be used as material for Link Summon, which is no big of a deal. It's no big deal. You can special summon a fish monster from your hand to a zone this card points to, and then target one other fish monster you control and 1 card your opponent controls and banish them. That effect is once per turn. It's funny to use this as a throw off for people who like to D-Barrier me from Xyz summoning. Yeah, that's right. I'm running the rare fish. It is one of my fusion targets. But I'm also using Tropical Shark, my Deep Sea Shark as a fusion target as well. They're both normal monsters, so you can use either instant or ready fusion to pull them out. And they work very well with the Fishborg Archer too. I won 1 White Aura Monoceros because Fishborg Archer is a tuner. When synchro summon, target a fish in your graveyard and special summon it, but it can't attack this turn, which is a once per turn effect. If this card you control is destroyed by your opponent's card and sent to the grave, banish another fish to special summon it and it becomes a tuner. So you can actually synchro summon your Fishborg Archer and one of your level 4s to go into this, bring back the Fishborg Archer, and use it for another summon. So if you do that, say for example you have Silent Sea Nettles, right? You'll summon Fishborg Archer, special summon Silent Sea Nettles, right? You'll tune them together for White Aura Monoceros. Then, using White Aura Monoceros' effect, and because it is in the graveyard when the effect activates, you can bring back your Fishborg Archer. Then, if you have one of your fusion spells, you can use it. So, for example, you have your Fishborg Archer and your level 5 Deep Sea Shark, you can go into your level 8 White Aura Whale. Your level 8 White Aura Whale. I love how this just on summon nukes your opponent's monsters. That is just good. If you want to use Adamancipator Risen Dragite in this spot, you can for the negates. But White Aura Whale is a good wipe of your opponent's attack position monsters. I think this also cuts their... Ooh, yes. It hits 2 times, and I love this part. Inflicts piercing, so it's not bad for a 2800 body. And just like the White Aura Monoceros, you can banish a fish when it dies to bring it back as a tuner. Being able to nuke the board is fun. I run one Nightmare, number 47, Nightmare Shark. This is just my rank 3 option for Buzzsaw, Lantern, Crystal, and Abyss Sharks. And because it's a number, I can deal double battle damage. You can detach a material from Nightmare Shark. It can attack your opponents directly. So if you use Abyss Shark and Crystal Shark, you can go into number 47 Nightmare Shark, swing at your opponent for 50% damage. The cheese, man. The cheese. Once per turn, you can detach a material from this card, then target a water monster you control. That's the attacking directly card. Alright. But again, other monsters can't declare attacks. No big deal when you're dealing 50% to your opponent in one turn. Kraken control. I don't need to explain Kraken control to you. You know about Kraken control. Vomit Shark brings the toad. And then I got my rank 5 options in Valiant Shark Lancer being one of them. Target a monster your opponent controls. Detach a material from an Xyz monster you control and destroy that monster. And if you control another Xyz monster, this is a quick effect. If it's a water Xyz monster, of course. If other water monsters you control would be destroyed by battle while you control this card, you can take a spell from your deck and place it on top. Each effect is once per turn. Beautiful. And then we got the Nash Knights. Nash Knight cannot be destroyed by battle with a number. Monster is on the field. Oh, Jesus. That's actually really good. That is very, very good. During the main phase quick effect, you can detach materials from this card and attach a number Xyz monster from your extra deck to this card adds a material between 100 and 101, which is Silent Honor Arc, and 107. Then you can attach one other face-up monster on the field to this card as material, which of course is a once per turn effect. The Chaos version works a little bit differently. It can transfer materials from the regular Nash Knight as on Synchro. So you can actually Chaos or rank up Exceeds change with this bad boy. Cannot be destroyed by card effects. You can detach one material from this card art and special summon from your extra deck a number exceeds monster between 101 and 107. So again, it does that wonderful thing. So variant support pretty much. And you already know about 101. Detach two materials, steal an opponent's attack position monster, and you can detach a material to keep it around. I do like this shark deck, man, and the fun part about this deck is it's actually very deceptive. But thank you guys so much for watching this deck profile. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. But for now, I take my cards to the box because I'm done. Bye-bye, everybody.